Star Wars Episode 7. The one movie that actually has the number right in the title. Episode 7. Because it is the 7th movie. At least no, it actually is the 7th movie. It's the actual 7th movie. Everything else is completely wrong. Episode 3 is actually episode 6. Episode 5 is actually episode 2. Chronologically, man, weird. So this is the Star Wars Episode 7, the right. The Force Awakens is the first movie that was produced. No, is the first movie that was created by Disney. The first movie that was actually directed by J.J. Abrams. The first movie that actually had the cast of Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and all those new characters that have come along to breathe new life into Star Wars. Now, hold on to your butts while I describe the plot of this movie. A droid has plans to destroy some big-ass weapon that the First Order has created. They've got to get those plans to the Resistance and destroy the Death Star. Sorry, the Starkiller base. Original? No. Good? Yeah. I mean, this movie is plain and simple, just simple Star Wars. It's like this movie wasn't trying to be the biggest movie yet. It wasn't trying to be the next Empire Strikes Back. This movie was just trying to bring people back to what people loved about the Star Wars movie, and that was the original Star Wars series. People love the prequels, and there are odes to the prequels in this movie. There's like mentions of the Sith, the Empire, the Jedi Order. There's all that. Like it's all lore, and it's all mentioned. It's all accommodated. But it's not. It's not like it. The best way I can describe this movie is fan service. This movie is fan service. It is a good movie. It has a good story. It has good characters. It has really good moments. I love this movie. There are a lot of people who are like, The Force Awakens. Nah. Force Awakens is trash. It doesn't do anything new, or apparently there's like some lore that it's not going with. But there is definitely one thing that doesn't make me a fan of this movie, and that's the fact that this movie was actually meant to be following a different structure, and that is because George Lucas had a different idea or a different plan for what this new trilogy should have been. As far as I know. Like it's kind of like with The Shining. Stephen King doesn't like The Shining, the movie, because the movie doesn't do anything of what he had planned, of what he wanted, because the book was so much different. And the new trilogy of Star Wars movies is so different to what George Lucas had in mind that he just doesn't like it. That's sort of how I see it, and I do feel bad that we'll never actually be able to see what George Lucas wanted. Maybe he can make a book and we'll read that, but whatever. This movie had me excited for what it was going for, because there were things that are set up in this movie that were actually pretty exciting. One, who the fuck was Supreme Leader Snoke? And two, who were Rey's parents? Those are the two questions that had been taken into the next movie that everyone wanted answers to, and that everyone was intrigued to find out. I was intrigued to find out. I was actually curious. I actually wanted to know. I wanted to know what would happen. I speculated about what would happen, like who was Rey's parents, who was Snoke, where did he come from. Everybody had those ideas, and they were paid off. Whatever. All right. So the one character that I really want to talk about in this movie, that is Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren in this movie, at first I didn't actually like him. I didn't like his character at all. His character was. it took me a couple of viewings for me to go, oh, that's what they were going for, because at first he just seemed like a whiny child who was just angry at his parents. He was just slashing like somebody would just turn around and just be like, oh yeah, yeah, the droid got away, and he would. It would be like me when my game freezes. I'd be like, ah! On my controller, I'd be like, fuck. Or so like my game stalls out, and then it just deletes like half of what I had accomplished, and it's just like. But he just whips out his lightsaber, and he's like. And he just gets all mad. There's a hilarious scene where he's doing that, and the two stormtroopers are just walking down the hallway, and they're just like. Fuck! And they just back away super slowly. It's hilarious. But after a few viewings, I've come to love Kylo Ren. I actually enjoy his character a lot more than I did. I didn't like his character at first because he really seemed like a whiny child. But it adds something to his character that I enjoy. I enjoy his character because his character is. His character is like the embodiment of what Luke had described Darth Vader to have been, which is torn between the good and the bad. In this movie, you see that in his face. He's like Supreme Leader Snoke or my dad, and you can tell that he is torn between the two. Whether or not that pays off is up to you. Because there's a moment when Han Solo goes up to him and is like, come with me if you want to live. And he's like, and he's trying to convince Ben Solo, which is Kylo Ren, to come back to the light side. We can talk this out. Shit can be all right. I'll take. And then he's like, I need help with this. Please help me. And then Han Solo takes the lightsaber and he was like, I'll help you. And you're instantly like, oh, it was such a good moment because Han Solo had finally gotten to that point that we all wanted him to get to. Granted, you could turn around, you could say that he got to that point in Return of the Jedi where he became a hero, he became a leader of the rebellion, and he was a good man. He led the fight. He was the good man. But in this movie, I feel that I personally feel a lot of fulfillment with this moment where Kylo Ren just grabs the lightsaber and just stabs it. It breaks me down every time because the moment that is like, oh, this is real, is where Chewie just freaks out. He just saw his best friend get wiped out in front of him, and it was so good because his character had finally gotten to that point of redemption, that best point of redemption. Like, he earned it more than once. Harrison Ford's not the biggest fan of Han Solo. He's like, I don't like Han Solo, probably because he wasn't the first choice to be cast, or I don't. Because from what I've heard, Han Solo was actually meant to be like three different actors before Harrison Ford was even approached, because Harrison Ford's been in like a lot of George Lucas's movies, Indiana Jones, and that series, and like a few other things. I think it was Blade Runner as well. I think that was Steven Spielberg, but whatever. I have no idea who directed the Blade Runner. I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, the Blade Runner wasn't that good. I've only seen it once. Maybe I'll see it again and be like, oh no, that was actually pretty good. I have no idea. Anyway, but some of that moment is just like, it's like one of the best moments because it just feels, it's so right with Han Solo's character. All right, some other characters. Rey being one of the best characters in this movie. The entire marketing for this movie, everybody thought that Finn was going to be the Jedi, but it turns out that Rey was the Force sensitive in this movie. The first time you actually realize this is where they're on the planet with Maz Kanata, and she's just walking around and she hears this echo, and then she's just like sort of walking down, and then she starts walking down, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought Abrams, I like what you did here. Good job. Because that was a moment I was just like, you know, Finn actually hasn't had any like force sensitive moments. Rey clearly has, because when they're in the Millennium Falcon is just flying around. They're on Jakku and they're just flying around, and then she just sort of does that thing where they all get saved, or where she like flips it upside down, and Finn was just like, yeah, and he blows up the TIE fighter. And then she runs up to him, just like, I have no idea how I did that. I'm like, you didn't know. And then there was also the moment where that really weird squid thing just like grabs Finn, and she just like clicks the button, and she's like, and she you could tell, like, there are hints throughout the movie that she definitely has force sensitive abilities, because there are moments where she's like, I have no idea how I did that, but I did, and it's awesome. But then when she picks up the thing, I love the final part where it's Ewan McGregor's voice, and he's just like, these are the first steps. I'm like, that is Obi-Wan Kenobi right there. I love Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness's voice was in there too. He was like Ray. And obviously because the guy's actually passed away, and they couldn't actually have like his proper voice, like him actually say something, but it was so great just to hear his voice again. And then when Ewan McGregor turned around and was like, these are the first steps, I was like, that just sent chills down my spine. I fucking love the end of this movie. Like the end of this movie where Rey and Finn, they're running away. They're running away, and Kylo Ren just gets in front of them, and he just busts out his lightsaber, and then like Finn just runs up, and he's like, I'm a cut you down, boy. Yeah. But then like Kylo Ren just sort of slashes his spine, which really should have killed him. Like that should have at least paralyzed him at least. But then the best moment that happens in the entire movie sends chills down my body. Like my entire body just chills. Is where Kylo Ren's just like, that shit is mine. And he can't call it. He's like, oh, what the fuck? And then you see it, and then you see the lightsaber move, and it's just like, and then it goes past him, and it just flies past his head, and then Rey just catches it, and then the music that swells up is the music that really gets me. It's like, and I'm like, that was awesome. Holy fuck, that was just the best moment. Like, I swear to God, every moment that I have seen in this movie, that topped it all. Like, it was such a simple moment that was so great. Like, people have complained that it's like Rey is just overpowered. She it took Luke ages to build up his force powers. I was like, fuck off. It was awesome. Like, you can't deny that it was a good moment. It might have been a forced moment, but what else could you do? Probably something different, but still, you gotta at least enjoy it for what it is. And for what it is not meant to be the best Star Wars movie that's ever been made. It's meant to be a Star Wars movie that brings people back to what people enjoyed about the original trilogy, and hopefully move forward with things that they liked. Like, it wasn't it's not like Rey just walked up and just fucking started shocking him or anything. And just she never force pushed him, she never force pulled him, she never shocked him, she never did anything. She just force pulled the lightsaber. She just forced the lightsaber. Like, even Luke probably would have been able to do that at least, kind of, probably not. Anyway, that's it's not like overpowered force abilities. All right, this movie. It's not the best Star Wars movie. It definitely has its problems. It definitely has its things. But this movie is worth watching with most of your attention. And if you like what you see here, please click the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below, let me know what your favorite Star Wars moment is. Did you like the moment where Rey caught the lightsaber, or what was any other moment?